Oh man.
Holy shit.
Love, 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 love. No, I'm joking.
Whoa.
That's a
Did he?
callback.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Not that kind of love though. Not the nitty love.
Oh man, no.
Hey folks.
Whoa.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of I'm Not Supposed to Be Here.
To be here.
Hey.
Oh man.
I am one of your host at the wheel today, Trent L. Dixon, and I'm here with my other host,
Lucas MG.
Whoa, you're
I like that. I'm at the wheel. I like that. That's
Yeah.
nice. I like that touch.
Oh man.
And we are so fortunate to be accompanied by.
Eclectic Sage / Christian Felix. You already know.
Hey.
More confident than ever after the year.
The boy.
That's what's up.
Really more confident than ever.
At least artistically wise, like now I can genuinely be like, oh yeah, my name is Eclectic Sage. Like it's just like, or like, hey, I'm Sage, or like, hey, this is cool. Like it's a lot different than like, hey, I've like write a couple songs in like my phone and stuff. To like myself, like my family is like, so when's music coming out? So you're a musician now? And I'm like, oh, I guess.
Yo, Jules, we need that mastered copy.
Yeah,
man.
Jules, this is for you. Where's the master? Where's the master for Phantoms?
Yeah, you know there's gonna be some holiday conversations. So you
Oh,
still doing
man.
the music thing?
Yeah, like
What do you do? We need that mastered copy.
it's funny because he listens to every episode, so he's gonna hear this and be like, and just be feel like he's like, I'm never going on the podcast ever again.
Hey, you're always welcome.
You
with us,
sullied my
Jules.
good name.
We just need we need that mastered copy.
we did that master copy of Phantoms.
Hey,
ASAP, no
release
Rocky.
another single.
Things take time.
Yeah,
Nah, we're not gonna rush the greatness.
Yeah, we can't rush the process.
because
You're
it's
right, though.
already great. But once you put those finishing touches on it, it's gonna be.
Yeah, no, I feel him though, because one, mastering 12 songs and mixing it by yourself is insane. Like I wish I could help him on that part. Like
He's fucking amazing. He's a one-man army.
what, doing it all by himself? That's why I'm like, take your time, but like, dang man, I'm so excited to drop it. I'm so excited to drop it.
Oh, maybe
Now that
maybe
I'm-
he's saving it for a Christmas present.
Maybe. Oh, Playboy Party type things.
Yeah.
Crimbus release.
Like,
Yeah, I was just thinking if there's usually 12 songs on an album, it usually takes a lot of time. So how many hours equate into the 3-minute finished project? It's a lot.
It depends. It depends because
From like writing, then recording, and then
I feel like,
probably doing it again.
yeah, I feel it depends on how like the person processes or does their music. Because I remember Migos was like, oh yeah, we make our songs like up in 3 minutes, which having like done that and recorded, that makes sense. Like if you put in a lot of reps, then like you can get the recording. The spirit of the recording is usually in the first couple takes.
Yeah.
So if you articulate well enough and you have like the spirit of the recording, then you just add your ad libs and maybe like boost the production value a little bit.
Yeah.
You can make some like amazing music. Problem with that is like if you keep on doing like 3-minute songs and like do that, and then that's the intention, and then you don't really have like a leading methodology in terms of how you cut or mix stuff, you're just gonna end up with a bloated project with like 24 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like modern day releases pretty much.
Yeah, because it's difficult. I always tell people like with certain artists, you got to look at it as like look at the fan base, and then does like it's called like the 4-quadrant theory. I forgot where I learned it from, but basically it's like you're looking at a coordinate plane, right? And it's like you have the different demographics, and you gotta kind of spread yourself as far as possible to reach every demographic. Once you hit like a certain superstar level.
Honestly,
Which is
I
weird.
think Drake does that pretty fucking well, right?
Yeah, but then that's some of the issue that people have because they're just like, what is this bloat? Like, what are some of these lines? What are some of
Right.
the, so it'll be like the critique. But then I was watching a review, and he was talking
Of
about of just Drake and the newer project because he released a Scary
Whose
Hours.
review was it?
Let me pull up his name. I love his reviews.
Is
One-
it the Anthony, that guy?
I love
No.
Anthony Fantano. For the people are like, why? as an artist, like
That's
he
cool. I'm
he
glad
just
that
like
you're.
I like his critiques too.
I like his critiques.
I
Really?
don't always agree with him, but I like his critiques.
Yeah,
That's
like
important.
They're
I feel
interesting.
like it's very solid and it's very. Watch him giving me like a 6.
No, we gonna pull up on him if he gives.
Is
you
he?
six.
Is he? Does he have like a background in music, or is he just?
I think
kinda-
so. I believe so. I'm more than positive. I've seen him with instruments in his reviews and
Yeah, he
Okay.
knows how to play.
strumming and stuff.
He knows
Or,
how to play
like,
bass and
does
everything.
he? Did he like study music theory or something, or is he just an
I'm not sure.
opinionated guy who likes music?
Yeah, but I feel like
He and Drake's beef is pretty priceless.
yeah, it's funny, but at the same time, I understand where he's coming from because his sensibility, depending on where your origin sensibilities, is gonna affect like every type
Oh,
of music
yeah.
that you like. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
comes from like rock and maybe more alternative and like that type of soundscape, and then also he's coming from like maybe growing up early 2000s ish.
Yeah.
So like that, like My Chemical Romance or whatever, like that type of sound, even though maybe he doesn't like that band, like that sound and that soundscape generally is like where his ear gravitates to. And then he's reviewing rap and R&B projects primarily. So
Primarily.
because there's a lot more rap and R&B albums because
true.
rap is a pervading.
That's what's popular.
That's the most
Yeah.
popular thing. So even if
Rap
he's
is the new
reviewing,
rock star.
Yeah.
Facts.
but
Yeah, you saw what Drake was like. You a fucking walking L or something like. The only W you got is marrying a black woman or something like.
Oh,
He
damn.
called him out on his story.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
But I appreciate his reviews because it's technical and it introduces me to how to evaluate music on a very, very technical level. And then I evaluate it on like an artistic level. So now I can see like how the commercial value of something, it basically provides a whole different lens. And then it's so separate from my identity because I'm like, I grew up in R&B. I listen to funk. I listen to this type of thing. So I'm like, it's like, I remember one time he reviewed the Steve Lacy album. It was Apollo. And I was like, this is the best album ever. I looked at the review and I was like, oh my gosh, he finally reviewed Steve Lacy just to give him like a low score. And I was like, damn, he doesn't get it.
What were his critiques?
His critiques were that basically whenever I like the way he reviews because he looks at each individual artist and their chart of where they are in their career. And he looks at it as like, I see a lot of potential with this, but I could see more. And sometimes I feel like he encompasses that in review. So he's not going to give you a high score on your first project unless it's like genre bending or like so crazy, so far removed from the current sound of things. And it does it at like an expert level. The mixing is right, the volume levels. Because I was talking to another artist the other day. I had shot behind the scenes for their video, and then she was talking about how like she would love to work with artists, but she's worked for so long in the industry and everything that that she wants to be like at least in the equivalency of with who she like shares her like time with in terms of her artistry. Because she's like, I want to see someone invest in their artistry. She was like, oh yeah, but like one of the main stipulations is like, is the mix rate is like one of the things. So it does affect.
The mix rate, you said?
Yeah, and I
Meaning,
didn't.
like how much he charges or what?
No, so like how much the volume and like the levels of everything and how clear everything sounds. Like you see how we have like a soundboard and everything. Some people were like, when I record a song on my phone, it doesn't sound this clear
Yeah.
or something like that. So it takes a lot of equipment, it takes a lot of investment, it takes a lot of like technical skill and technical because it's like engineers and everything that go behind it. So it's just like it's the time investment and it's a skill investment and it's a lot of that. So it's just like I want somebody that has the same type of skill investment to kind of do that. Now I kind of disagree. I'm like, if the person has the artistry and the potential and I see something, then I want to be a part of that person's journey and want to maybe like look at it and be like, hey, you're making ways where there are no ways. You're charting a path. And then you're doing it no matter what, whether on a phone, whether on this mix. So I kind of disagree in that, but kind of looking at Fantano and saying like, hey, the mix is not right, or like there could be more, or maybe this song is too bloated, or maybe this song is too thick. It gives you a different type of discernment so that when you make your own thing, at least from my perspective, you can kind of keep that in mind, but like just still make your stuff anyways. Like at the end of the day, one reviewer is not going to kill the review. It may be like it just may bring more eyes to the audience, because I know after that I've listened to Steve Lacy even more because I was just like I stand by, but it made me more solidified.
I was gonna say, do you find yourself trying to look for those points that are spoken in the criticism, like looking for all those little technical pieces and then seeing if they improved on later projects? Stuff like that.
And I feel like that did motivate, like at least at some level, for the next project that came out, because it wasn't the same type of project. And it was cool because it charted the evolution, and I like the new the project. It was I think it was Gemini Rights. I'm a little biased because I'm a Gemini myself, so but so I felt like that album like encompassed like the whole experience of it. I was like, yeah, but the other one was more R&B ish and more kind of like Steve Lacy has a nice sensuality to his music, and he has like a nice kind of like melting type of like atmosphere. Like if you ever heard The Inside, is very hypnotic, and I feel like the new songs were not very hypnotic, but it was just like it was encompassing the way that things were be in the past, like how hypnotic it would be, but then it kind of maturing and kind of like talking about like a deeper subject, because the other ones were more so like focused on love and like the feelings of falling into it, and like maybe like kind of discerning like, did I love too fast or something like that. And then the newest project was kind of like a breakup project, or like a breakup album, or like trying to understand a relationship.
What was his most recent release?
That for Steve Lacy?
Yeah.
Gemini Rights. That was the last one, but
That was this year?
I think maybe I remember Bad Habits was, I have to remember.
Jeez.
But yeah,
Couldn't
that
escape that song when it came out.
That's I bite my tongue, it's a bad habit. That song, fire.
Could somebody bite their tongue is a bad habit?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound... How?
It's like some people like get nervous and they kind of go like this.
I can't
Like,
see
Or
where
even
biting.
when you're chewing gum.
Yeah,
I've
like-
bit my tongue before, or
But like...
if I'm stressed, I'll like bite the inside of
It's
my
like,
cheek.
or bite your
Not
nails.
as like a habit, but like if I'm chewing gum, it'll happen by accident.
But does anybody chew on their tongue and be like, fuck, I gotta stop doing this?
It's possible.
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? That just reminded me.
This is the guy. His name is Professor
Professor?
Sky. He's cool. He's like a French professor that like really loves hip hop. Was not really into listening during the 2010s. Regretted it, and then was just like, hey, I'm gonna review like a lot of these projects and everything for fun. Like doesn't really put ads or anything. Just is like, what is, and he tries to stay on the more positive side. So while Fantano reviews the technical, where it stands and where it could like improve, he looks at the value of art and the context, because every piece of art speaks to the context of the decade, and he's trying to understand like what is this art and what is the function that is serving for both the person, the artist, and society at large. And I'm like, with the combination of those two, you can get a lot of information, a lot of cool things. And then also it's separate from my perspective, because like my identity is like I'm a Spanish / like what's it called, black person from like New York,
What's it called?
immersed in the scene of music. I know, right? What's it called? Immersed in the scene of music and immersed in like the underground of hip hop, listening to different types of sounds and everything from my parents and having that type of thing. While they're kind of looking at it from a more academic perspective, they're looking at it like gracefully, I respect it, and from like the perspective of just like the white experience, and they're just like, okay, we're not gonna completely like understand every facet, and like we're gonna use our privilege to speak on these things and speak on them with such finesse and with such love and care, because I can tell that they look at their identities and like, I understand that I may not understand this music, but I'm gonna do this as effectively as possible to communicate what I can glean from it from a human perspective. And I'm like, all right, that's really cool. And it's cool to see that. And then just look at like other reviewers. Like I know Sean C is another reviewer that's on YouTube that he used to review a lot of music. And I used to watch him when I was a little kid. And like those music reviewers like informed like how I would look at music and how like I'll be like, all right, this is like the mindset that the person had, or like, wow, this is for a vibe, or this is for a bop, or this is for like this type of thing, kind of placing it. So it was like the hodgepodge of those three, and kind of understanding like, hey, you can make like really fire music and it can entertain different crowds. And then when all three of them are in agreement, I'm just like, you just made something fire.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good marker of the craft.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like I kind of feel more so acquainted to like the opinions of like, I don't know, Rick Rubin or like Denis Villeneuve or like anyone, or like even Andre 3000 now with the release of it, have like his album with the flute.
Shit was so nice.
Yeah, it was really good. But
I've listened to that front to back at least half a dozen times.
yeah, it's great.
Especially when you're trying to mellow out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've listened to it? Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I listened to it the first day it came out like 2 times back to back when I was at work. It was great. It was really good, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like make the art for yourself. And it's just like the person that you have to entertain is yourself.
That's very interesting because I remember 50 Cent famously. So I don't remember exactly who he was coming at, but he was essentially criticizing rappers who say they make it for themselves. He was like, "Yo, you don't make it for yourself, because if you made it for yourself, you keep that shit in your basement, in your car, wherever, and you wouldn't release it." You know, which is funny.
I guess maybe what one is expressing when they say that is that like make it from a genuine place within yourself, like for yourself essentially, and then
creating the art you want to see,
right,
and that you want to hear.
Typically, people will pick it up.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I just think it's funny though because people, I suppose maybe he was just trying to justify him making art for other people. You know,
right. I feel like making art for other people is pretty good too. Like that's even for me, that's harder than making it for yourself per se, because I make, like when I started writing when I was like younger, like I would just make it and I would be like, wow, this is a cool thing that I can do, and then like you were just kind of drawn to like share it with another person. But it wasn't like I'm making this song for you until like later, because then it was like I have a finesse, like I could write a song for this person and like show them like, hey, this is like, so it's kind of like making a meal. It's like you make meals for yourself and then you have certain sensibilities, and then when you have a certain recipe that everybody likes, you tend to make it for everyone. Like I know that's what happened at Thanksgiving. Like my grandma makes the best stuffing ever, so she's like, I just learned how to finesse the recipe for myself, and then you make it for everybody else and it becomes a thing that people come back for. So that's what people mean like when they say I make it for myself. Like I put my sensibilities. I don't make it to like, I don't know, Aunt Jemima is not gonna like is not gonna like my recipe.
Jemima,
because it's not sweet and syrupy enough. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm making stuffing.
Is Aunt Jemima still around?
Aunt Jemima is like the name got changed for good reason, because it was the Pearl Milling Company now, or but yeah, it's because they used the I think it's the mammy archetype. But back in like early film history, they used to have different like archetypes or like different types of characters, and they used to kind of depict slavery a lot in those early films. And yeah, the mama character is basically like a person that has like just a overwhelming joy taking care. Like they're enslaved, but they have an overwhelming like joy of like just taking care of like the slave masters like children and everything, and trying to like feed and tend for them. And it was kind of like the white power fantasy of like, oh yeah, this is like complete servitude towards like servitude while combining like maternal love.
Right.
So it was a little perverse, and then it kind of got embraced in the marketing of their syrup, because it was just like, oh yeah, this is just Aunt Jemima, and Aunt Jemima is like, and so then you can market around it.
So is she still around or no?
Technically, I mean, on the bottle in the box,
or
like
didn't
previously,
the bottle change or no?
The bottle changed, but they still have her face on there. So I mean, so that people can recognize it. But I'm like, that defeats the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, sorry, I got distracted. Should I?
Uh-oh.
No.
No, nothing bad. Well, I hope nothing bad. There's a few things going on, but
Oh no.
we're good.
Are you
No,
sure?
Well, I hope this girl that is supposed to be at work is at
shit.
work.
Oh,
but,
man.
I think I'm good. And then I saw that nothing. I was looking at a Supreme drop, being distracted. Quite frankly.
Supreme.
Anyways, sounds like Anthony Fantano had a pretty good year. Sounds like Drake had a pretty good year.
Yeah.
Sounds like Sage had a pretty good year.
Ooh.
And all of us, for that matter. So that being said, I guess topic we're here today is we're capping off 2023.
Ooh.
It actually didn't even occur to me until sometime last night. I was like, wait, year's almost over.
Yeah.
Like, there's only a few days left, essentially.
Yeah, pretty
It's kinda
much.
crazy.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean,
Nice little wrap up episode, honestly.
time is, I don't know, always moving.
Fleeting.
Yeah. So it's like,
Illusory.
it's not that surprising. But one thing I did think of, super random. Oh, whenever we were talking about biting your tongue. You know what? Something I gave up in 2023 is biting my nails.
You gave it up?
Dude,
gave it up.
successfully. Cold turkey, dropped it, no problem.
Wait, why did you feel the need to give it up?
I've been accused of having nubs at times, you know?
So your decision was based on what other people think?
To a degree. My mother definitely instilled that in me. Don't bite your nails. Girls don't like that.
Oh, damn.
Which is true. I mean, who the fuck wants to look? You know when somebody's like pointing at something and they just got a fucked up situation going on?
I don't want to look at your fingerless.
Dude, there's been times where like when Mr. Christian and I worked together, we're like, we would have to work on an iPad. I'd be like, oh yeah, just check out right here. And then just like SpongeBob cutscene, you look at my finger and it's just like, especially in winter.
It's like a close up with the Band-Aid on it.
Yes. And it's like in the winter, it's ashy and like cracked and dude, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
So,
have y'all been nail biters?
I'm like, I bite my nails like really badly. Like, I never really had nubs per se, but I always have my nails like really short.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, by cutting them or?
No, just by biting them. Like, they always end up like this level.
Oh, I mean,
Let me
yours
see.
aren't.
They're not that bad.
They're
but
not that
bad.
They're not that bad.
No.
I've stopped more so recently. I think, you know what helped? Surprisingly, the pandemic.
Really?
Because you have your mask on, so you can't bite your nails. So then my nails just kind of like reformed, and they're like, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
they like, thank goodness. So I wasn't really able to bite them, and then I kind of like was just like, hey, I'm in a good spot. Like, I could find some other thing and just like twiddle my thumbs or something.
Right. Twiddle my thumbs. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was one like thing I'm actually pretty proud of.
One highlight.
Because, dude, I mean, again, we've all seen fucked up nails where somebody's nails like that far down. It's just
Yeah.
gross. Nobody
Like
wants
you-
to see that.
Hey.
Hey, our studio managers in the building. But yeah, I don't know. What about y'all?
I don't know if there's any habits I've given up this year.
Anything in particular?
Nah, all the bad ones are still there.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the
These are
bad ones?
I'm still procrastinating. But, I mean, I think that's us all. Nah. It's I've actually been more active this year
Really?
artistically. Yeah.
What do you procrastinate in?
I call it procrastination. It's also part inspiration.
Really?
Kinda
What,
thing,
or a
too.
lack thereof, or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been moving a lot more lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's just on like every level, like drawing.
Do you procrastinate in like not fun stuff, like laundry and groceries and all that shit? Okay.
That ain't gonna stop. I don't.
Yeah, I think
I've
that's just
actually-
adult procrastination.
I
that
think
hits
I've gotten
everybody.
worse at laundry.
What is the time?
I'm not gonna
It
lie.
comes with time.
Yeah.
What is being done in the time when, you know,
Everything,
X is supposed to be
everything else.
really like just doom scrolling? Or
I think. Well, I mean, I hesitate to say procrastination, and
Okay.
a friend of mine told me the term, and I can't remember the term, but a lot of it is I spend so much time and energy at work
Yeah.
that when I get home, I kind of want to take my time back for me, you know, and
Like, what does that
I
consist of?
whatever the hell I want. Like there isn't like
Yeah.
a specific activity.
Okay.
But I mean,
No, I know what you
it
mean.
might be, you know.
Like it'll be like, you know, I was good at work today, so let me watch a movie. All right, well now that I finished the movie, let me go out to eat. And then and then after you come back from eating, oh man, I'm tired, let me go take a nap. And then you got work in the morning, you're like, damn, I had to do laundry.
Actually, okay.
Like that's usually what happens.
And it's also like super cold now.
Yeah,
Like,
it's freezing.
sometimes I'll do like my laundry at like 2:00 in the morning because I have like
What?
a 20. Because like I'll get home and it's like the first thing I want to do is work out, because if I don't, then I'm gonna be too tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so the laundromat, if it's gonna be open, I can do that anytime. And then now that it's cold, it's like I'm not going out at 2:00 in the morning and 20 degree
Damn.
weather.
You have
Yeah.
to. Is it in your building or no?
Nah, I gotta walk. So the one that's 24 hours is like an 11-minute walk, which feels like it takes forever because it's like a few blocks away.
11 minutes in the cold with a cart. It's
And
not
then-
fun. It's not
No,
fun.
I just toss like the bags over my shoulder.
That's even worse. I've done both.
Is it on?
I've done
Is it on
both.
is it on a stick? You got like a knapsack on a stick
like a bindle, like I'm a homeless person. No.
and a peas and a polka dot knapsack.
Oh
And some
man,
fingerless gloves. It's like, where's that,
I wonder where that comes from.
where's
fingerless
that young hobo
gloves.
going?
That visual.
Where's that young hobo?
Oh my gosh.
Nah, and then the one that closes at 8 is like 5-minute walk away.
Oh, but it closes at
But that
8.
shit is so stressful,
Yeah.
yeah. And you get home at like 6:30, and it's like gotta scramble. And
It's like, yeah. Then I've walked into laundromats where they're like, yo, you're not gonna wash and dry in time. You can't use our machine. But no. Overall, it's been a good year. I've definitely one of my goals was for this year, which I kind of pulled back on, which I'm kicking myself. Was be open to all opportunities and don't let anyone slip. And I've let a few slip towards the end.
Wait, sorry,
no lie.
repeat that.
Be open to more opportunities. And I had a really cool opportunity at the beginning of the year. And then towards the middle, I had some opportunities I kind of let slip. And as I kind of checked myself on it, and now I'm kind of back in form.
I guess it's kind of the bell curve of resolutions and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
It's like real solid. Whoop,
I
there we
don't,
go.
what do we I don't know, because me and a good friend of mine, we stopped calling them resolutions. We called them intentions.
Okay.
So I don't know, the idea of resolutions, they kind of, I don't know. There's kind of a weird connotation with them. So
Yeah. It's like pretty fickle. I feel like it'll be like,
I
oh yeah, I'll
agree.
set an
that's a
intention.
good word, fickle.
And
Yeah.
then like mid-year, you don't even like remember what you said. And then at the end of the year, you think back and you're like, I'm gonna make the same ones I did last year. And it's just like, and it's just
cycle
like,
repeats.
and it's just like, I feel like you said, like if you leave with intention, it's just like, hey, the intention's there, and like maybe the actions may not correlate, but like you can still be like, I'm gonna assume that attention again and keep on working towards it.
Facts.
And it's a little bit more lenient than, oh man, I didn't complete this one. It's not like complete or did not complete. It's more so like in the progress of completing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like things you're working on. Bless you in advance. But no, that's also another one of my intentions is be more forgiving of myself, because I can be hard on myself.
Yeah, you say you're
know-
procrastinating. You were like, oh yeah, first thing I do, I gotta work out. So
Yeah. But what about you, Sage? What's you got rid of any bad habits? You tossed any of those bad boys out the window on your way into 2023?
2024.
I mean, like going in the year, like bad habits you got. Yeah.
Bad habits, not
Biting your tongue.
While you're rapping.
I guess one thing was like relying too heavy on like music listening instead of like dealing with my problems. I feel like I just dealt with my problems instead.
Ooh, that's
So,
a good one.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
looked at my Spotify listening minutes, and instead of having like the 158,000 I usually have, it was only 67,000.
Oh wow.
Mind you, I was listening to music. I was making my own stuff, but like
Yeah.
but at the same, so it was probably like about the same ish, but like instead of doing that, I would like create and do something rather. So it changed the dynamic. It was like rather than being like a person that consumes, I was a person that like manufactured and built, and I felt like that was the theme of the year, and it felt really rewarding to like
Nice.
to
Solid.
I'm glad I went before you. That was a really good one. Well, Sir Sage, you're a hard act to follow.
Oh man.
No, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, being proactive about the challenges that lie ahead.
Yeah, but it was pretty tough.
What about any? I mean, obviously we got Phantoms under your belt. Well,
yeah. So
technically,
technically, it's
not yet, but
not yet. It's like right there. I mean, all the songs are finished. Like it's just mastering at this point. It's not even mixing. It's like literally like, is the sound levels like good? Like, am I too in front of the mix or am I too behind?
Right.
And it's just like, I understand those things. So, but other than that, like, I don't know. I feel very proud of what, like, all the stuff I did. Like, we started the podcast. We're doing that. Like, I this is like one of my like favorite, like, even before, like, Phantoms was nowhere close to finish.
To the podcast.
What?
Oh,
like,
wait. We gotta bring it in.
Hey, oh man.
Yeah, fact.
Yeah, shouts out to us and y'all.
Yeah, like we took this year was a lot of like, we have an idea, let's execute on it, and then like let's execute with finesse. And like I feel like in like all the projects that like either like I was able to witness or like just happenstance, like I just happened to be there. We just like were able to make something new and like finesse and make something that like I like to generally like go back to and listen to. Like I listened to every episode at least like 3 times already.
Damn.
Wow.
Because at least the first time I gotta like listen to make the title, and then the second time I just go back because I want just to like hear our voices. And then like I was like this was the top podcast listening on Spotify, which is funny because I have to listen to them in my files usually. So that means I go back and revisit. So I'm like, wow, that's cool. And it made it so that I wasn't so heavily reliant on like watching like and trying to understand the world through like news or something, which is cool because usually I look at the world and I'm like, all right, let me balance like this news source to like stay up to date. And it's kind of like, why do you need to stay up to date with things? Why can't you just like pull away and then come back and period when things are important? Because there was a thing and it was like, not every day is historical. Every day is historical because it's another day you're living, but not every day's events is like the biggest event possible.
Yeah.
But with the 24-hour news cycle, it's like breaking news, and it causes more anxiety and stress. So it's just like this year was kind of like I said, just kind of taking a step back. Yeah. And then instead of like having the feelings, because I mean, sheesh, literally I talked about it before, on my birthday, instead of looking at climate change news, all I had to do was look outside and there was like, it was a plume of smoke over New York. Like there's no need to be like spread awareness. It's just like, what are the actions I can take? I can create art. I can have a genuine conversation about the problems and the things that we can fix. I can look at my siblings and be like, hey, make sure you recycle. Those are meaningful actions more so than just like listening and consuming more studies and more things proving the same thing that we all know is true. Right. And yeah, just trying to change that dynamic because I want to get to a point where like I feel confident and empathic enough to kind of go out there and make different type of changes and be the change that I want to see, but do it in a way in which it's actually fruitful and not just kind of like preaching to the choir, preaching to the people that already agree with me. So trying to be a little bit more versatile, but you have to be kind of structured in yourself a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, to chart that like uncharted territory, I guess, you know. Yeah, you definitely have to have solid interior structure for sure.
Yeah, because it's like you're going to be tested in an uncharted territory and you're going to be like moving and like maneuvering in ways that you don't even know that you can maneuver. Yeah. And then you have to help guide other people to do so too. Yeah. And then also look at like some of the fallacies that you're told are truths and kind of navigate through that and kind of like parse through information. Because it was cool because I was talking to another artist friend. Her name is Tiani. Shout out to her. She like released a song called Awake. And we're having a conversation and discussion, and I was talking to her about like the importance of like dissecting information, and like no matter how much you agree with the source and how much the source is correct at that moment, no matter who you talk to, no matter what pedestal you elevate, like your news source, they're not going to tell you 100% of the truth all the time. Because even as people, we don't tell everything about ourselves 100% of the time, every time. That's what makes us people. So it's just like being able to parse through the information and knowing the logical structure of where it comes from. And then she taught me to, like, yes, spread your information, spread the sources that you know, but then also take where they are as a person and kind of like move forward with that understanding and kind of just be like, hey, I can present you all these sources and everything and all these things and move forward with you still being like with me in terms of like ideas and everything, but still believe in something different. That's where the nuance comes in. And yeah, just learning that this year too was a cool thing to learn and like apply going forward.
Oh, nice. Sounds like you're talking about critical thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important, especially when, taking in information. Like you said,
a lot of it at that.
That's crazy. I was thinking about that the other day on how being on the 24-hour news cycle, we don't have a time to breathe.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about, the biggest difference between myself then and myself now. It's like how I think about things. It's like hard to really take a hold of something and stick with it and then spend time with it because stuff is just constantly being thrown at us. Like I can't remember, the last 3 school shootings because there's been so many.
So there's been so many.
Yeah. Or the last, name the last person that got us, that was big person that got assaulted by police because it happened so often. I saw a video this morning.
See, I didn't even know the video this morning.
Yeah.
But it's just like kind of learning to parse through the information and then also not subjecting yourself to the trauma of like every event possible happening in human history at once through your phone. Because that
takes a toll.
That is too much.
Dude, that seriously fucks people up.
It's too much. I've literally seen people like just and then I just had like I listened to the episode the other day and you're like just looking at the human experience, and so like I took that and I was like I woke up and I was like, man, I feel so bad because I was looking at like all the stuff around the world, and then I stopped and I was just like, what's going bad today in your life? And then I just walked through the day and I was like, I just went to work today, I saw my friends today, I made music today, and then I went home today. So it was just a regular day for me. Yeah. And aside from the information that I was given from an outside source, my day was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to say that that information wasn't important and that like I shouldn't have a stake in that.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you have to be able to distance and like learn to step into the fight and learn when you have to like observe the fight from a distance. Because it's like those old shows when like the master's kind of sitting and it's like war is on the horizon and it's like all peaceful. It's kind of like he observed the slight changes in the distance to prepare himself mentally that something is going to happen.
Right.
And it's kind of like moving with that type of thing.
The Art of War.
Yeah, I actually read The Art of War when I was a little kid. My dad made me read it.
Your dad sounds so amazing. Oh, yeah. I want to meet him so bad.
What was his angle behind getting you to read that?
I think he had to read it for business school and everything. And so like he was telling me to read it because he wanted me to read, be well read and like read choose your own adventure books, which is like a thing, and like understand the importance of choices.
He made you read The Art of the Deal.
Nah, oh my gosh, that would have been terrible. If anything, he would have told me.
Just slaps it on your desk.
If anything, he would have told me he would have took me away from that one. The only book I disagreed with, and I'll talk about this on a later one, is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, and I disagree so corely with like her philosophy that is just like. It's too self-interested to the point where it's self-destructive, and like the book, it just doesn't speak to like all the other things that I believe like to my core. So like that's the only one I was just like not accepting that he was just like, yeah, you should read that one, because I feel like that also contributes to the mentality of business culture to be so self and bootstrap-esque, kind of like get everything on your own.
Yeah,
and I feel like that book is like the epitome of that. And then you look at her history as a person, and it's just like it's just not. It's not something I vibe with all the time.
I see.
I've got a lot of opinions on that narrative, but we're gonna save that for another.
Yeah, that's another episode.
The
I
one
feel
that
like
we
that.
were planning on. That popped up in my head. But I want to share with y'all a date. February 10th, 2023.
That's
y'all
our
remember
first
this date?
recording, isn't
The
it?
first.
No.
No.
Oh wait, that's the museum.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopper Museum. I was going through photos just now.
Dang. Did I tell you
That
I
was-
went back recently and they had like a permanent Hopper installation?
Oh,
there.
word?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. They had I can't remember exactly, but they definitely had the one with like the clown in it, which is like a very
Yeah,
kind
that
of
one.
jarring image, especially for his body of work. It kind of like I don't know, sticks out a bit. But
Yeah,
but
that's
anyways,
so-
yeah, we went back and yeah, I was like, wow, grassroots right here.
Yeah. For
Where it all started.
For those listening, that's sort of the inception of the podcast right there. We
Right in the Whitney.
Yeah, we went to the Whitney, looked at art, talked about our favorites, and then afterwards sat down for about 2 or 3 hours and
I had a deep conversation about
Yeah.
like what it means to be an artist and what art like stands for and what it means, and it's just trying to understand like the context. And I feel like that's really awesome.
Yeah, that was quite a whirlpool of converging worlds.
That was our lost
I mean, us
episode.
three, and then we
Yeah.
have Rod in there and Rod Sterling, or
Yeah.
excuse me, Serling, and then we had Hopper Infusion. Yeah, there was a lot of mixing there
James Dean on the production.
Yeah.
on the production. My boy.
Here for most of the episodes, honestly.
Yeah, true, man, true. Yeah, it's been quite a year. I can't believe that was February 10th.
Yeah.
Today
So it's-
is December 10th. Is it? No, 10th. I'm
It is
tripping. It's the 7th.
7th.
it's
It's pretty close.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, it's been a good year, man. I don't know. Time is. I don't know. I was just telling Trent, like, everybody I work with is like significantly younger than me, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm always just kind of like. I mean, I'm 30, so I'm no spring chicken, so to speak. But I'm not old. I'm older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I it's just like second by second, everybody has the same allotted amount of time, but some people are just born later than others, and it's like, I don't know.
That's
yeah,
really
it
profound.
all equates. You know what I mean? Like your 30 will be Christian. Your 30 will be just the same amount of time as my 30, and then I don't know. The cycle just endlessly fucking repeats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then like you just zoom out to like, yeah, how the years go by, and it's just like it's the same exact concept of like it's the same amount of time every time, and it doesn't slow down, it doesn't stop, it just kind of is what it is. So
You know, it's a cool concept that like I was listening to somebody in an interview for the New York Times, and she was an active person in the journalistic community for a while, but she was like talking at 50, and she was just like, oh yeah, as you get older, the years start to blur and then like enmesh more. So it was just like, oh yeah, like 30s and 20s was just like that was just 1 year for me or 2 seconds, and like the concept of relatively towards age is so insane to me. Because if you're like 20, the biggest, like, the largest chunk of your life is like your childhood, but then like you reach a point where like you live more longer as an adult than you have as like
yeah, it's a trip.
as like a kid, and it's just like, or like the inverse, like you live more as a kid than like an adult,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, oh wow, like this is insane that like your perspective could change so wholly.
Yeah.
Because like just because of like the years and your relative like relationship to time and the nature of like how you understand the events of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just like as you go, I mean, just like time. Yeah, I mean, needless to say, it's just like, yeah, nothing ever stops, and you always just are on like a continuous kind of track of figuring everything out. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me how often, and this sounds stupid, but it's just like, or not stupid, but like no duh, but it's just like you're always on a ever kind of like rolling track of like decisions and shit. I kind of thought about this the other day, so walk with me
Yeah.
here, but it's basically like So you're set. You're like, you're on like this. We'll call it like a treadmill. You just keep moving forward in time, and it's like you have all these different obstacles along the way, and you have to like, it's like ding, highlight on that one. Okay, I have to choose, and it's like you choose. So this is kind of funny, but like you choose right, you choose wrong, or you do nothing. And it's like you do nothing, then you're wrong. So you kind of have like a 1/3 shot, like initially, of getting it right. You know what I mean? And it's like, or if you just kind of do nothing, which I've done, and you try to like duck it or jump over it, then you get fucking dealt with regardless.
Doing nothing is a decision too.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's like, well, shit, you might as well, take a stab at like doing the right thing, and even that you have a shot at not getting it right. So
have
it's
you ever,
just like
played Road Rash? That's what it sounds like. It's this really old video game on Sega Genesis where it's
sick.
you're on a motorcycle and it's third person, so the camera's behind you, and you can only really go left and right to dodge obstacles, and then if somebody else comes up next to you, you can kick them or swing like a chain and knock them off their motorcycle.
Right.
Oh, man.
I think it's like kind of a racing game as well, but yeah, that's what that reminded me.
And that's pretty much it. Like, oh, dude, I ain't even fucking got into this shit, but like, dude, we have this crazy situation going on with our apartment, which is just insane. And of course, whatever, I'm the fucking main guy to deal with it, I guess, the man of the household.
You're the guy. You're the go-to.
The first name on the lease and all that, and I'm the eldest. So out of my girl and I, so I'm like, all right, well, fuck, I guess I'm dealing with this one.
Oh man,
I guess, but yeah, it's just like 2 days ago, I had so much shit to do, and like again, so many decisions to make, and I'm just like, okay, here we go, like. In real time, again, that track is moving, and I have to like act or get dealt with. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's always fascinating, but it's also very exhilarating, and it's like it's also very empowering too. It's like, okay, how can I deal with this the best way possible? Let me be conscientious of the fact that I have, at least to the best of my knowledge, free will to make a decision, and just try to make the right call, because if I don't make it, nobody else is gonna fucking make it for me. So I might as well try.
How has your decision making changed this year? Do you think it's gotten any better?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten better. I would say it just like it, like the axis in which I would say I have improved is just like being a lot more conscientious of the things that I'm doing, and like that's like spending, how I spend my time, making the right decision and like what's best for me, and what I consume and what I eat and where I choose to work and what I choose to work on. And just kind of trying to think, I guess, like what benefits, ultimately what benefits me, but then also like my immediate counterparts and the people around me. And like managing a store and shit, it's like I have to like, I have to be on my toes, and I have to take care of people, and like, in return they take care of me. So I guess like my decision making has been, I noticed too, it's always a lot better to just like take care of shit like as it pops up, and not like kind of like delay things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As Ghostface Killer says, don't let your beef stew.
Don't let your beef stew.
Fire.
Freaking amen. And yeah, so I guess I don't know if it's changed too much, but I've been like a little bit more mindful of like where I step, I guess you could say. And also like something I've noticed kind of lately, which I guess is like ultimately I don't know, a division of mindfulness, is like sometimes if I'm like about to get, I don't know, sometimes I can just feel like a wave of like, I don't know, like you're looking off in the distance, you're like, oh fuck, that's a big wave coming of like, like depression or anxiety or whatever whatever you want to classify it as. And I'll think, I'm like, wait, I see that coming. I see it coming in the distance.
I see a war on the horizon.
Yeah, exactly. I see a war on the horizon. But like, I'll think like, wait, if I like let this consume me, and if I let this like embody, like let this like kind of take over me, then, and if I give it my all, if I give it all of my attention, then like I know what the outcome is going to be. So then I'll try to, again, I guess, practice a sense of mindfulness and be like, wait, like look at it, feel it, understand what it is, understand, you know, the value in kind of counteracting that and like really sticking to that, you know, and not letting like that huge wave of like emotion come over me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, if I let this thing consume me, then God knows how long it'll go on or like what it'll make me feel. So like instead of like just letting it crash on me, like let me like, I guess it ties back to as well. It's like having that, you know, internal structure to like deal with those things. And like, and I guess ultimately what it boils down to is just like, okay, if I follow this train of thought, like, where's it going to lead me? You know what I mean? And like, chances are it's probably not going to be somewhere good.
Yeah.
So like, let me acknowledge it, look at it, you know, like pat it on the back, and then like, let me continue about my, you know, the real righteous way of, you know, going about things. So I guess in some degree that's how, like my decision making is like, I guess improved for the better, this year. So I guess, yeah, just kind of being like a little bit more mindful. Also something I've like kind of been grappling with lately or wrestling is like self-forgiveness is pretty crazy, you know? And truth be told, like, I know like deep down somewhere, there's some shit I haven't fully dealt with, but like, it's kind of fascinating because like, truthfully, I haven't had like the courage, I would almost classify it as, or like the wherewithal to like really sit down and like apologize to yourself. I don't know. I mean, is that what like self-forgiveness is?
That's part of it. Yes.
Is like
part of it.
Because it's like, it's easy to be like, God, why do I feel bad? Like, I don't care about that anymore. Or like, I'm over that. But it's like, or sure, I forgive myself, whatever. But it's like, have you really like apologized to yourself? You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. And I think that's something that, honestly, it sounds kind of stupid, but like, I kind of want to, like be on like psychedelics or something and like really take like a deep dive into my subconscious and like have like a real conversation with myself, like, and just walk through that. It'd probably be best if you were guided, you know what I mean? Like, because there's like, you know, certain type of like therapeutic practices in which like somebody walks you through something, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's something I've been thinking about lately, and like I haven't found the right like time or space to like sit down and like meticulously pick through that and like again reach that level with myself. I don't know if y'all have
very
felt that way.
Because I was gonna ask you about because you've been working out a lot.
What do you mean?
This year.
Oh,
like
yeah,
as far
big
as
time.
like your sewing,
Big time.
Do you think that part of that is kind of an avoidance of dealing with those things?
Not really, because that's like, I don't know, man. I've always had to have some sort of like creative outlet, and if I don't, then it just like I don't feel that great. And maybe so, but it's not like that, because I think the defining factor and the bold line between the two is like I genuinely love like sewing, and I love the process, and I love working on stuff. So like that comes from like if anything, that's rooted in like deep passion, you know what I mean? Like, and I do that because I love it, and like I kind of just have to. Like, it's just like one of those things where it's just like I have to fucking do it. Like, there's really no option, and there's no ulterior motive, but just like I just love creation, and like I feel like, I don't know. I mean, it's not, I can't say like, oh, I was put here to fucking design garments or something, but it's just like, I don't know. It's something so deep that it's like I can't help but do it. You know what I mean? So I think maybe sometimes it's used as like an outlet to some degree, but it's like, say I was like in a down state, yeah, I mean, I guess that could be like a positive thing to pursue, but it's like, what else would I do? Like sit on this chair and be like, I'm mad. Like, let me be mad. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Part of that process though is sitting with the situation and sitting with those feelings and actually allowing yourself to feel whatever it is you're supposed to feel about it.
Right.
And then you can truly forgive yourself and move on afterwards.
Yeah, without distraction too, because even work could be a distraction.
Absolutely. Oh, undoubtedly.
And even if it's like creative work, I feel like it's a slight difference with like sewing and stuff. But like even artistically, sometimes like I'll see like sometimes there'll be like a thermometer check. So I'll be like, man, like I didn't. Sometimes it'd be like brought to my awareness because I'm like, I would look at the song afterwards after it's written, and I'll be like, I didn't know I felt like this, and I was like, I got to deal with that. So it's just like earlier playing Slight C, I didn't know I was burned up, but like I saw it and I was just like, oh, let me stop, let me stop, let me take a break, let me do less.
And I think if I am in like a kind of fleeing state where I'm like trying to use something creative as an outlet to escape something, then I think it shows up in my work too, where it's like rushed and it like just isn't quite right. So in order to achieve something solid, like you have to be in a solid state or else it'll reflect in the work, at least for me personally. So I think at times I do, but like more so than not, that's like one of the purest things in my life.
That's really
like
good though.
My work. So sure you could, but I would say, I mean, now that being said, I have other outlets, I think, of like escapism where I use that instead of like, you know, dealing with whatever it may be. But no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm obsessive with that shit. I can't stop. Sewing that is. So I don't know that comes from like a really deep sacred place. So I think that the sewing comes from, or like that work ethic. I don't know where it comes from, but it's somewhere good. So I know that it's somewhere good. So
that's all that matters, honestly. How do you feel, Trent? How do you feel with like coming to terms with like emotions and everything as like the year has passed?
It's been emotionally it's been a real difficult year.
Really?
But it's on the upswing.
I'd agree.
I don't know, dude. 29 for me was like probably the fucking hardest year. So like last year for me was like, that shit was tough for sure, just for a number of different reasons. Yeah. So this time around, I think, I did a little bit better. Now that I think about it, my resolution too was to like take more care of myself, like just mentally and physically, and that's like a super broad, you know, goalpost to hit. But I think I did better. I fucking slacked on the gym, but I was going hard for 4 months. I got like 1/3 of the year down.
Hey, it's January. Got to up them subscriptions again. That's when Planet Fitness and my fault. That's when everybody makes their money. All the gyms.
But no, sorry for you, Trent.
We're not getting that Planet Fitness placement.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's where the hard part started. It was last year. Yeah, when I lost somebody very dear to me, and I think emotionally this year I've been trying to find certain things in me to want to be more creative. Because it's like truly a part of me died with that person, you know.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been trying to sort of constantly build myself back up, and I'm not completely 100%, but there's been a lot of different things that's been helping. You know, doing the podcast does. One of my best friends from in Texas was like, yo, it sounds like therapy for you. I was like, it kind of is,
pretty much.
In a way.
No, that's what it feels like, honestly.
And it's like I'm really inspired lately, like even hanging out with you, Sage, and then like remember when we were sitting in the diner, we were going over our writings, like that inspired me. And then being at the Phantoms, I was like, yo, I gotta write. So it's facts. I'm getting back to a place where
and it's cool because what's it called? Yeah, I feel like when you lose something that's core to you, I feel like the whole, I guess, interplay of Phantoms and everything, like out of that whole process, it taught me that like no one is ever really like lost, even if you think like a part of yourself is like died with that person or like is gone with that person. It's just like, no, the memory of them still exists, and like at one point in time they exist, so that means they always exist. So like everything that has happened, will always happen. And so like that happened means that it was a thing. So you may have lost access to some version of it, but like new versions always emerge, and so it's like a new life that you gain from things. And it's tough because sometimes you're like, I think I said this before, but it was just like sometimes you don't want the whole garden, you're just content with just the rose. But eventually, like just with the progression of life, you're gonna have to like get rid of the rose for the garden. And even though like you love the rose so much, the garden is like a more stable state, and it's like you're gonna end up with more. And although you lost like the rose, and the rose is like really important to you, that rose is just reflected. The beauty of the rose is reflected in the garden, because the beauty that the rose contained is like the beauty that is present in all the things that the garden oversees. So it's like, it's really tough, because it's just like your attachment to that thing is really tough. Like that's how it was when, what's it called, I lost my dog and everything. And it was just like walking around with like empty hallways and not hearing like the little pitter patter, like being greeted in the same way. It led to like a lot of grief, and then trying to understand my context in that. But yeah, I feel like the work and trying processing that over the years and doing things that bring people together led to a whole different garden.
Definitely.
So I'm like, I see that person's spirit. I see my dog's spirit in the people around me. I see like the same love and care, that same source that was just present in all the things that like I was able to create. I was able to think, like the crazy adventures I was able to do this year. Like I was able to do a freestyle cypher. I was able to meet Rhapsody and take pictures of her. I was able to take pictures of a comedy show, make music videos, like come out with my own project, hosted a gallery, created a podcast. They do all these different things, but those things wouldn't be possible without like the love and influence I got from previous.
It's true.
So
yeah, I was you got me thinking now. The other day I got my girl some flowers, and they were roses. And I was just looking at a rose. I'm like, wow, it's so pretty. They smell so nice. But it's so funny, and it's just such a like just kind of like intrinsic metaphor of life. It's like, but and then I think she took one out and then like plucked her finger on it, because you know it has its thorn. I'm like, first I thought of, Guns N' Roses, every rose has its thorn. But I'm like, how just further speaks to like the yin and yang of life. Like it's a rose, it's so beautiful, like it smells wonderful, but like it has this sharp edge to it. And I guess that's probably one of like the oldest like metaphors of like time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful, and it smells so nice, and it's so like charming and like warm to receive, but it like also has this like ugly kind of mean and like painful side.
Yeah. And
I'm like, wow, that I don't know.
And the craziest thing with roses is like, or just giving flowers in general, is that you have to clip the roses. You have to clip the life of a thing to share the beauty of it.
Yeah. And then it's beautiful, but then it's just like that.
It's beautiful, but it's in a state of like purgatory. It's in a state of decay.
Yeah.
Like you try to put like sugar water to prolong the inevitable. And I feel like that's beauty in general. Just prolonging the inevitable. Like time will pass, things will come to pass. And that's like something to reflect on as everything comes to pass. And like dealing with things in the moment, making sure that like your internal core is like there, but understanding like we're like a vessel for things, and sometimes the vessel's contents change, but the vessel is still there. So like just being understanding of the contents of the vessel, but not wholly understanding it. Like I don't think the vase understands the water that it contains to preserve the flower, but like the flower and everything is being preserved, and that's like the intention, that's the goal. Yeah. And so like as long as you maintain that goal, like you're able to do great things. Like look at the great things that all you guys were able to do and create, despite having like internal struggles that you're trying to do. And that's kind of like the metaphor right there. It's just like, look at what I can do. And I feel like oftentimes you can get lost in like trying to make sure you're 100% sound. And like even buildings are not 100% sound. They have like little things, but it's not like you'll be none the wiser. And everything's always a fixer-upper type of process.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think that even speaks to just, pain creates beauty, and, whatever medium it may be, whether through music or literature or design or podcasting or whatever it may be. Yeah. And I think ultimately that even kind of speaks to our name. I'm not supposed to be here. Turns out we're supposed to be here.
Yeah. And it's really cool because it's nice that like the seed of it, like I felt like, what's it called? Especially with the gallery, it was like cool to see like the podcast go from like the idea of a podcast being like sprung in the museum, and then just like trying to emulate like my own version of that, and then just having like these episodes be like time capsules to time, and like like being plucked out of time
Mm-hmm.
and just like conversations. And it's really interesting to see like the different headspaces like a person can occupy. And it's cool to share that because also like my brother listens to this podcast and like my brother lives in like Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Nick. But yeah, he listens to these podcasts and I feel like since I'm not there all the time, like he's able to get closer to me that way.
Absolutely.
And just form like a relationship. And now I'm able to, now he's able to understand
Mm-hmm.
me at a more personal level than like the few visits, because every
Right.
time you visit someone, it's a little bit different than
It's
just
true.
like living and coexisting and then going through the experiences and everything.
Right.
So it's like I can share these messages to like someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can, or I mean, anybody for that matter can kind of gauge the footnotes of like your personality and, everything. And it's really important for documentation's sake.
Yeah.
Love
cool.
that. What do you think, Mr. Diz? Moving into 2024, what are we looking like?
We're looking like more episodes.
Whoa.
Yes, definitely.
So wait, is this the end of season 1? Or this is beginning season 2? I feel like this is a nice cap.
This is the end.
This is
Yeah,
giving
This
this
is
is cap.
definitely the end of season 1.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What episode number are we on?
This is 22.
22.
Yeah,
That's funny.
22.
I went from 21 to 22 this year.
21.
Hey.
I just had a 21 Savage lyric in my head.
21.
No, but we're gonna do more episodes. We're gonna become more disciplined and emotionally sound. Not that we won't have problems, but we're gonna get better at dealing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna start working on more. Well, not start because I'm already in the process of working on more art projects.
Oh yeah, our projects are not stopping.
And then we're definitely gonna work on putting them out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Showing them to the world. And
I know. I'm gonna beat up Jules. Jules, get on the master.
Jules,
man.
take your time, Jules. Take your time.
Take your time, but I'm gonna beat you up. Nah, because I was at the
This man
train the
knows
other day and
jujitsu.
somebody was just like, they were at the gallery. They're like Sage. I was like, huh? And then she was like, oh yeah, his Phantom's out. I was like, oh man, not this. I was like, I gotta put it out. I was like, I can't be caught out off guard. Like, when's the project dropping? I remember I used to like be the same type of person that be like, I don't know, looking at Twitter like at Isaiah Rashad's like thing. Shout out to him. Like, he's like my favorite artist, but I was like, damn, when's the project coming out? Like,
Yeah.
And then like they'll be like Top Dog being like, it's being mixed and mastered, don't worry about it. And it's just like, yo, come on. Now I'm like, I feel the same frustration because like also the artist is removed from that process too. So
True.
Yeah, because once you submit it, you gotta wait on the date and all that.
yeah,
Like,
you gotta like wait. And so you're playing the waiting game, so you're waiting alongside the fans.
it's true.
It's a weird position to occupy.
The people need it. Get it out.
Yeah, definitely. Get it out. I know, get it out. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be out.
Yes,
on
it's
all
supposed to be
platforms.
here with us. But yeah. My 2024 is gonna be more traveling. I think that was that's what I was gonna say earlier. That I think going to Iceland really helped me emotionally.
Yeah.
And that was the solo. The next joint is gonna be the group travel. I'm trying to get everybody out to a little group adventure.
That would be
so we
so
can all
fire.
experience it together.
I want to go on more adventures.
We'll work on that. But what about y'all? What is your 2024 looking like?
Let me see. Honestly, I want to dig into my photography bag again. And like work on my videography and my editing. I feel like I can do a lot of cool things. Terms of like just achieving things like really nice and visually. Like I want to make, I think I'm at the point where I feel confident enough in my photography because I just started like last year. And I feel like confident in the point because before I had like no portfolio. Now I have like a portfolio. I know how to like do different things.
Right.
So now it's time to be the student again and evolving on that task. 2024, I want to be graduated by then. That's the goal. And music, I want to be able to just like perform my music. alongside with Jules at a lot of events, just like consistently.
Beauty.
I want to podcast more often.
Hey.
I love these episodes. I love this podcast. And I want to be able to have a little bit more like leisure time and like purposely stopping and like stopping for not like just one day, but like stopping consistently, because I tend to like overwork.
Yeah.
So it's just like not trying to be as productive, but the same with like my music, like be like lower the amount.
2024, we unproductive.
We're
Just
we're
like,
on that work-life balance.
we're balanced.
Yeah, we're unproductive with a purpose. Like and I feel like it reflects in the art.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Love that.
Lucas,
Well,
what's
I
your
guess it's up to me.
What's your 2024 looking like?
What am I doing? I'm doing just a more refined version of my current self, I would say. I think that's fair to say. Let's see. By the end of this year, I'd like to officially have my little business up and running. It'd be really nice. I have
Same, I felt that.
Yeah, I just like finished the last bit of production I needed to do, and I actually shot the merchandise that I made, and now I just have to get a website up. And
Fire.
I think I can do that before 2024. So I guess just run a small sustainable business in 2024. That'd be cool.
Hey.
2023, I finally left my job of like 6 years and ventured into something new. So that was a really big one. That's something that I'm pretty hyped on this year. Pretty big earmark. Let's see. 2024, definitely still, continue to work on myself and understand myself better, understand where I came from, where I'm going, be a better significant other for sure. Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, damn, she really loves me. That's crazy.
That's
like
so
the other morning I woke up and like I looked in, I don't know, been fucking around for 30, 45 minutes. And I looked in the mirror. I'm like, I look fucking rough. I'm like, damn.
That's me right now.
Thanks for.
That's me
I'm
right
like,
now.
wow, she really loves me. That's something, and I cannot take that for granted. So just be a better significant, not be a better, but be
a thing.
Yeah, be a really, be a sustainable, not sustainable. That's not the right word. Just be a very thoughtful and loving significant other. Improve upon that. Let's see what else. It's pretty much it. Work on myself, work on my business, and work on my interpersonal relationships. Time management is a pretty great one for
That one's
sure.
tough as heck to
I'm
finish.
super on and off with that, where it's like
You could be really
whenever
good.
I'm up and like I'm on it, I'm like, wow, like I see the lapses in my time
That's
management.
that getting 8 hours of sleep shit, right?
Yeah.
You wake up, oh, I'm ready for the work.
Yeah, that and
It's
I
a combination of that and having a breakfast. Those
dude,
two things you
breakfast
can do
is fucking
anything.
Epic. I love breakfast. And that's really it. Get this money, baby.
Yeah.
Go get the money.
More funds this
Yeah,
year.
just really just that. That's all I have to say. Be a better friend, be a better partner, work on myself, interpersonally, run a damn fine business, and that's all a young man like myself could ask for.
But
Diz, take us away.
oh,
No, I'm just
before I do,
kidding.
I gotta. Before we, I guess I'll turn one of them into a thank you. But another,
Let's hear it.
Another noteworthy thing. I went to. It's not my first Comic-Con, but I went to New York Comic-Con, and that also helps me emotionally because I love seeing people of color, specifically Black people, like nerd the fuck out.
Yeah, that's such a fire experience.
Because when I was younger, it wasn't acceptable to be a Black nerd, but
Facts.
now that shit is ubiquitous. And also
Fire.
starting out with the thank yous, but also the more 2020, more in 2024, more photo walks, yo.
Yes, the
Thank
photo.
you guys.
I love the photo
Who
walks.
all came out to the photo walks this year. We're gonna, it's gotten cold, so we've gotten a little quiet. We've stayed inside, kept warm, but that's thank you to Quay for
Honestly, a studio shoot would be a really cool idea.
Yeah, that's in the works too.
Okay.
But
That would be really sick.
Yeah, that's my first thank you.
Like
to Quay.
pitching some funds.
Wait, like
For,
for us, like
Yeah, I mean,
Studio
Well, it's
shoot?
part of the photo club.
Photo-
We'll talk
photo
we
about-
do need like
We'll talk about that.
we
off
need
mic.
like maybe like next Nula Studios. We should do like us three. We should get really good photos.
yeah,
we should.
we
That'd
should.
be cool. Maybe we could do something
With that.
I'm down.
silly and quirky.
I know how to do. I know how to do a little bit of portrait photography.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Imagine if we all like I don't know wore cable knit sweater or just some
Oh
like
yes,
like
a Christmas
intention-
tree.
We're kicking off season.
some like intentionally
with the Christmas card shoot.
yeah or something like that could be
Yes.
fun. That could
I
be
also
fun.
want to get the podcast like some video footage so that people could see us and everything.
Yeah.
Those
that'd
that
be
know
dope.
us know how we look, but those that don't know us don't know. How we
Yeah,
look.
we-
Yeah.
actually, that's a good. That's
And
some-
that'd be interesting to see people's reactions. Like, oh, I thought y'all looked
Yeah,
like this.
nah.
Nah,
Oh,
we look like that. But,
Also, I just want to shout out. This is like such a frivolous shout out, but not for me. Like my hair grew so much this year. Like, oh my god!
Shouts out to Sage's hair.
Like I'm free forming
the
my
locks
locks.
are coming. In.
Yeah, I'm free forming them. So it's cool because people didn't see like what I was doing. They were like, "Oh, you're just growing afro." I was like, "No, I'm free forming my locks." They're like, "Watch, they're coming in." And then now they're
coming
like,
in.
now they're like really long, and it's really
they
cool.
are.
And yeah, for anyone that's doing like a lock journey, they know like the importance and significance of it because it teaches you a lot of patience. And especially with free forms, you have to like stand your ground. You got to be like,
because
I
I
had-
had no business.
for facts, because I
Give me
had
a
like
minute.
literally I had people like tell me like 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 close family members, like someone that saw you like in baby like in diapers and stuff, being like that haircut looks ugly, and I'm like man. But then and then once it gets to a certain, because it's weird because when you're freeforming, it's like little bulbs and everything while it's nodding, so it's not like kempt, it's not like it's not contained, and then like it gets to a really long length, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so fire! Like it's such a unique shape. It's so you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, guys, you didn't facilitate it when it was short. But yeah, just shout out to that. I think it's been like a year and a half, maybe 2 years now. 2 years.
Wow.
So yeah, this,
damn.
yeah. So it's gonna. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it like this, but probably for a little while. So yeah, shout out to
Love
anyone
it.
with locks and
Shout
lock
out to
It
journey.
looks
Locks.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Shout outs and thank yous to all the people that listen this year, yo. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Especially the people sneak listener who didn't tell me they listened.
Yeah.
They were like, yo, you remember on that episode you said that? It's like, no, I don't remember. I don't remember what happened yesterday. But
That's so crazy.
Yo, shout outs and thank yous to you. Shout out to my brother for always being encouraging. Shout out to who else we got? We'll just go to you, Lucas. Who
Go
you
to me.
thinking? Yeah.
I'd like to thank y'all first
Yes,
and foremost.
yes,
Well,
yes.
thank y'all. For let's see, what for?
What the hell did we do?
Staying- what did y'all do again?
Yeah,
No, for I can be fucking anywhere and who knows what in the middle of what, but y'all always keep me grounded in terms of like, okay, we're doing it. Consistency is super important. And yeah, y'all are really great at that, so thank you for that. And
Yeah.
also just accompanying me through this journey. So yeah, thank
Yeah,
y'all
we-
for that, for all the things that I don't have to say, but we all understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, gents.
Facts.
I love seeing you grow as a person, Lucas. I'm not even gonna lie. Like from
Wow.
yeah,
Have
this-
you seen a lot of growth or what?
yeah,
Or
like
seen growth?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I've seen.
How
growth.
so?
I mean, that may be flattering.
But wow, no, that's
Um,
I didn't know that was something you were observing.
No, of course I observe everybody.
True.
I observe everything.
He's speaking from the azalea bushes.
Just being more willing to take more risk and things that you do artistically and standing on business.
Staying on business, man. Yeah.
Like you went from one location and you're like, I didn't like this. You chose instead of staying somewhere that you liked, that like you felt like you didn't like anymore. You just were like, I'm moving. I'm doing something different. I'm moving. I'm
Right.
doing something different. I'm moving something different, and that's like character growth for me. And you had like your own arc and everything.
Thanks.
From the
yeah.
beginning of the
yeah,
year.
man. I mean, I'm still developing as we all are. But yeah, also like shit, I don't have any time to waste, dude. You know, I'm like getting older and shit. So it's just like, yeah, I gotta fucking move while I can.
And
But thanks, yeah.
yeah, you guys inspire me to stay like curious and
Absolutely.
like always ask questions and like stay.
I'm laughing at you because you keep talking like you're old. Like, I don't have much time.
I mean, dude, that's honestly how I fucking feel.
I
I'm
don't,
like,
I don't want to stop you because you're on a trajectory, you know,
Uh-huh.
and I see the positives coming out of it too. So
thanks,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I don't know. I do live like well, actually, that's not true because I'd be fucking around sometimes. But
you be procrastinating.
you know, I don't know if I.
But I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
Though. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
But remember, at some point you got to sit on that bench. All right. Even if it's for 30 minutes, you got to sit on that bench.
Wow, that's special to Trent and I
Yeah.
because, well, in a 30-second synopsis, there's a man outside of my window that always sits at this park
Oh yeah,
for hours and hours and hours on end. I'm talking spring, summer, fall, winter. He sits there and his eyes are closed and he has a smile on.
I like
And
to see the movie going on in his head.
it's like, and I was just telling Trent, I'm like, dude, there's a huge level of like self mastery in that. And I'm telling him, I'd never seen him on his phone. He smokes cigs. That's the only like tethered to like anything physical, essentially. Like other than that, he is. I've never seen him eat. I've never seen him drink. I've never seen him, and he's not homeless. He's not homeless, but. Anyway, so that was Trent's reference. I have to sit on that bench every so often. And you're right. I really have to because life isn't just working.
That's the quote for the episode. You have to sit on this bench.
Sit on this bench.
Sit on this bench.
I think that's as a correction earlier. That's part of the procrastination is the art of doing nothing, and that's what I do a lot.
Really?
Sometimes when I know I need to separate myself from things. And sometimes it is genuine procrastination. But no. Back to the thank yous and shout outs.
Yes.
All right. Well, then in Lucas fashion, I'm going to thank you guys for sticking with it and
Yeah, it's huge.
for making me better, I think, and encouraging me and just being there and being friends, you know.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being a friend.
Who is that again?
We
Golden
settled down the road.
Who is that?
back
Golden
again.
Girls.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
What if we like tied out with that episode? Or with that song? That'd be sick.
Copyright strike go crazy.
Banned.
And desist.
This.
Oh man.
But yeah, those are who else? Thank you to y'all.
Thank you to all my friends.
Thank you.
Family.
Facts.
Everybody that hold me closest here.
Oh, I gotta check in.
I'd like to. Would it be crazy to kind of thank myself
No, thank yourself. You gotta celebrate yourself.
to being a better person?
Facts.
I still hold my flaws, but I think that I'm more conscientious of them, and I always strive to do better. I know that I'm doing better. So thanks. Me? Just kidding. What a fucking
That's very
dick.
Kanye of me.
Yeah, right. I'm perfect. No, but no. I
Hey,
guess
3 artists unite to make
thank
sense of the
you.
world around them.
Thank you to the part of myself that is striving to become a better person all around, and thank you to anybody that is a good person in my life.
Yeah.
Y'all know who you are.
You know who you are.
Did you say your thank yous,
I
young
think
man?
I think I did, but just a recap. Thank you to everyone that has like come into my life, whether new, old, and consistently just being with me and being on this adventure and giving me opportunities to like just be myself. Love.
Yeah,
I hear that.
I definitely got to thank friends and family too, because y'all.
Friends and
I
fam,
can be.
of
I
course.
know I can be a fickle motherfucker. Like I can.
Same. That's the word I was looking
I
for.
avoid my phone a lot, and I work a lot. But people still love me and they understand.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And I I have to say thank you.
Thank you
Give
to
you a
those that
shout out for
understand.
that. Absolutely. And with that said,
So y'all are saying we're wrapping this year up with gratitude,
we're wrapping it up with gratitude.
love.
Oh, shout out to originators, shout out to Hopper, shout out to James Dean, shout out to those influences, shout out Rod Sterling,
Shout out hip hop.
shout out hip hop.
Shout out hip hop. You turned 50 this year.
Yeah, damn.
Looking good.
You don't have much time left. Hip hop,
Jules,
get
finish
on
the
it.
master. I want to
Looking
drop on
good.
hip hop 50. I want to drop hip hop 50.
And with that said, folks, we are out. You've been a grateful,
Jules.
invisible audience. Yeah.
Peace.
I love when they suspend in space. Cause at that moment, I know nothing else matters. It's only love. I like to sightsee for what I might see. Can be enlightening. I know it might be a tad bit frightening.